afternoon. This is Ms. Billerbeck, and we're going to talk about factors and multiples. Factoring numbers means to find by what the number is divisible. So given 12, so 12 is 1 times 2. It is also 2 times 6, and it is also 3 times 4. So the factors of 12 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. So let's find the factors of 105. All right, so we know that it ends in 5. So that's one of the factors. So if it ends in 5 or 0, it's going to be divisible by 5. So we have 1 times 105. 2 does not go into it. 3 does, because 1 plus 5 is 6, and 6 is divisible by 3. So there is a number times 3 that equals 105. So if I quickly do that in my head, that ends up 3, 5. So 35 times 3 is 105. 4 doesn't go into that, 5 does. So 5 times, and then we have, there's 2 5s in 10, and 1 5 in 5. And 7 goes into that. So 7, so there's 1 7 in 10, and then 3 left over. So there's 5 7s in 35. All right, so we can look at other types of multiples too. Let's see if we've caught them all. So we have 1, 3, 5, 7, 15, 21, 35, 105. So I'm thinking if there's anything else. So we can look at, I'm usually doing factor trees. So if I do a factor tree, which I'll talk about more later, I take the first prime number out, because 1 is not prime, and I have 35. And then I take the second prime number out, and I have 7. So all the combinations of these numbers should work. So we have 3 times 35, 5 times 3 times 7, and then we have 7 times 3 times 5. So we've got all the combinations because 105 equals 3 times 5 times 7. Okay, so that's how you figure out if you've got all your multiples. All right, so the factors then of this will be 1, 3, 5, 7, 15, 21, 35, and 105. And those are all factors of 105. So let's talk about multiples. When a number is multiplied by a non-zero whole number, we get the multiple of that number. So a non-zero whole number would be anything that's not this 0. So whole numbers are 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. So really what they're saying is counting or natural numbers. That would have been a better way for them to say that. Do you know why? because counting in natural numbers don't include 0. So they could have said this whole line here and said multiplied by a natural or counting number, we get a multiple of that number. Okay? So if they had remembered counting in natural numbers don't include 0. And it is exactly what they're saying right here. Okay, so multiples of 3 would be 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 2 is 6, 3 times 3 is 9, and multiples of 4, 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, and 4 times 3 is 12. So let's write down the first 4 multiples of 2. So we have 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6. And 2 times 4 is 8. And now let's do that for 5. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 3 is 15. And 5 times 4 is 20. We can do the same with the 11. 11 times 1 is 11. 11 times 2 is 22. 11 times 3 is 33. And 11 times 4 is 44. So those would be the factors, the first 4 multiples of each of these numbers. And that concludes our lesson. Have a nice day.